always say nobody's going
Mhm.
to come to your dinner party if you don't invite them. Nobody's going to become a client out of thin air. You have to extend the invitation. You have to invite them
That's
to go
great.
deeper. You have to move them along in the client journey.
You've probably noticed it. The online business world is shifting. Trust is harder to earn. Attention is shorter than ever. And the strategies that worked even a year ago aren't landing the same way. We have AI changing the scene, but there's good news. The people thriving right now aren't necessarily the loudest. They're the most authentic, the most aligned, and the ones who built with heart, service, and clarity. And today's guest has helped thousands of women do exactly that. Carly is a licensed clinical social worker turned seven-figure business mentor who has guided therapists and coaches into building businesses that bring them freedom, wealth, and genuine fulfillment. She's also a Reiki master, an NLP practitioner, and the author of the #1 Amazon bestselling book, Therapreneur, a guide for therapists ready to transition into coaching with integrity and confidence. And that is exactly how I met Carly. So, Carly, welcome to the show. So excited to have a chat with you and talk to you about business, but also some of the other shared interests that you and I have that some people may not know much about. So, welcome, and please tell our
Mm-hmm.
audience a little bit about yourself, how you got here, where you started, and what your
Well,
journey has
first
been.
off, I forgot how calming your voice was. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And my story, where do I even begin? I'm a therapist by trade. I did all the therapy jobs, community mental health. I got into social work for kids. That was and always has been my passion. I did play therapy for quite some time, community mental health, brick and mortar 9 to 5 jobs, telehealth jobs. I always tell the story about how I even worked for BetterHelp for like 2 months because I was hustling. I was trying to make more money as a therapist. I used to Google how can therapists make passive income. It just the system wasn't making sense to me. I always wanted to start my private practice. I was scared. I was telling myself the story that I'm not a businesswoman. I'm just a social worker. It's going to be too hard. It's the end goal. I'll do it one day, etc. I got laid off during the pandemic. Everybody did at my 9 to 5 job. That's when I started my private practice. I really remember this vivid moment of sitting at the kitchen table and I was like, all right, I have two choices. I can go back into the field and work for someone else, which I did not enjoy. I was somebody who always craved freedom. I would stare out the window thinking, all right, I could be doing returns right now. I could have been in and out of the gym and I just, there's so many things that I could have been doing to prioritize my time, organize my time. I did not do well working for someone else. And when I figured out my human design, that all made sense. But going back to the decision of, do I work for myself? Do I start my private
Mm,
practice? I've always wanted to do this. Do I figure it out as I go, or do I work for someone else? And I did. I took the leap and I figured it out. It was kind of challenging because nobody really teaches us in school how to start a business, which is a whole nother story. But you figure it
mm,
out if it's worth it.
yeah.
I realized pretty quickly into my private practice that I still didn't have the freedom I wanted. I was still trading dollars for hours. I still had a cap on my income. And I was coaching the whole entire time in my private practice. So I started studying the online coaching industry. What do these coaches know that we don't know? How are they so successful? How are they making so much money? They didn't go to school for this. I was a little bit envious, but I was also very curious. And that's when I also started investing in business coaches. To date, I've spent well over 6 figures on mentorship and learning online marketing, sales, copywriting, the whole 9 yards. And it is what has catapulted my success in the online industry. I've been at it for 5 years now, making money in the online space. And there's just so much that therapists can do. I think the turning
Yeah.
point for me was when I realized I had created a level of freedom in my business that most therapists didn't even know was possible. I didn't even know it was possible what I was doing. And I had built a thriving private
Mm,
practice. It was great, but
yeah.
the business model behind private practice and trading dollars for hours just really isn't the best. And so when I got a hold of coaching and I had that level of freedom, all of
Right.
my therapist friends started asking me, "How are you doing this, Carly? How are you creating these courses? How are clients finding you? What are you charging? Why are people paying you this much money? How are they saying yes, etc." And that's when I started teaching therapists how they could create digital products,
Yeah.
create courses, leverage their time, the difference between therapy and coaching, how they can add coaching ethically and legally. And yes, they can do it, and connecting them with the attorneys that I was speaking to. And that's really when this whole era of therapists adding coaching for me begun. I wrote a book about it. I have a podcast on it, etc. And like you said, this is how we got connected in the first place.
Yeah. It's funny because I definitely want to circle back to your human design, but it is also once you learn how to do something, I think because of the type of people we are and the
Yeah.
industry we're in therapy, we want to share. So everyone wants to know, and you quickly get the bug to become an educator. So I think it's a very easy jump or addition to go from therapist and all the work you do there to educator. And it feels just as good to help other people. You're like, oh, this business feels great. This coaching is really rewarding financially, personally, and I'm learning so much. I do want to touch on your human design and
Yeah.
mine, or even have a little conversation about it because I love human design. I am a manifester. So I am currently like navigating that with this new career that I'm building and this business that I'm building. And I'm a founder and I feel it in my bones. And as I'm navigating really starting this new business, it's apparent I'm not a doer. I am not the worker bee, but I need them because the number of ideas that are churning
Yes.
out are just immense and overwhelming. And it's overwhelming if I don't have somebody to help me do the things and pull off the projects that I'm thinking of.
I'm a
So
projector,
I think you're a
actually.
manifesting
I'm a
generator. Is that right?
projector. And
Oh,
to
you're a
your point quickly before,
projector. Okay,
yeah,
let's talk
before we
about
go into
that.
that,
Let's talk about
going
that.
from
Okay, that makes
therapist
perfect
to
sense.
educator, it's so funny because I was actually, before I was a social work major, I was an early childhood education major. I always wanted to be a teacher. That's how I envisioned
Mm,
myself from being a little girl. Like I used to set up all my stuffed animals in my room and pull out
yeah,
my whiteboard and I was teaching. I don't know what I was teaching back then, but I've always been a teacher.
yeah,
And so it's just so funny to me in hindsight looking
something.
at what I'm teaching now. But I do believe that therapists are just, a lot of us are natural teachers at heart, and we do a lot of psychoeducation already. And I see it so much that so many therapists are actually coaching in their quote unquote private practice already. But yeah, projector. When I
Mhm.
first learned about human
Yes.
design and I figured out I was a projector, I was like, that sounds horrible. I don't project my stuff, do I? But
Well, it's less common too, right?
it is a
It's
little,
less, I guess not less
yeah, it's
common.
a,
It's
I would say
30%. Is
manifesting
it
generators
30%
and
of the
manifestors
population, I think?
are more common. But oh, really?
Well, manifestors are only 7%. We're not the least, but we are only, yeah. So manifestors, generators, and manifesting generators make up the
Right.
bulk. And then
Yeah,
projectors are
well,
next, and then
I
manifestors, and
think
then,
that out my
yeah.
human design in business was one of the best things I could do because I was very easily making myself wrong for taking so many breaks or going through go, go, go periods and then really needing to hibernate. And I felt guilty that I should be still in my doing these things, executing the ideas. Like you have all of these ideas. But when I learned that that is not living in my design and it is okay to do that, it just made everything so
Hmm.
much easier when I could follow the path of least resistance. And it also makes
Yeah.
so much sense to me that I am a projector. I see people so deeply. It's the intuition in me where, I can sit with somebody for 5, 10 minutes and just see their whole entire vision in front of them. but then also go back and reverse engineer it and execute it. The
Mhm.
projectors are
Yeah.
really the leaders, the deep seers of the world, and they're also not meant to work in a 9 to 5. So that makes sense to me
Yeah.
too, why I never loved doing that. And I am an entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend that anybody listening definitely check out your human
Yeah.
design. It will help you in business and in life. Figure out your kids'
Yeah.
human design too, how you interact with them. It's just a beautiful tool.
Mhm. It really is, and I don't think not everyone knows it in the mainstream, but once you I've introduced it to family members. I have a niece and nephew, and my brother-in-law are projectors. And when I introduced
Yeah.
it to them, they were like, whatever, one of Aunt Leslie's woo-woo things. And then when I started describing it and
Hmm.
describing their gifts, they were like, what is this called again? Where can I read more about this? I'm like, yeah. And it makes sense to me. I think of projectors, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but almost like a community planner. Like they can step back
Yeah.
and
From
look
a
at
bird's eye
things
view,
and
you're an
see how to make
innovator.
things better.
You can see
Is that
people
right?
deeply.
Mm,
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes me different also as a therapist,
yeah.
business coach. It's not only my gifts and skills as a projector and who I am as a person, my intuition, which led me to get certified in Reiki in the first place, and just being a therapist and knowing what that's actually like. I've had so many clients come to me
Hmm.
and they've had previous coaches and they're like, they just didn't get me. You got me. It was just this deep understanding on so many
Yeah.
levels. I don't know if you felt like that.
That's great. And no, I did. We did a power hour. So when I joined the program, unfortunately, you went on maternity leave within days. So, but the minute you came back, the energy, I felt your energy, and we had a power hour, which was extremely productive, really productive. And I want to say one of the things, like I personally am grateful for your program, is the coaches you're putting out into the world and giving tools, because some of them I've engaged in that community, but
Oh,
some of them are sharing their gifts, which are also going to help me. Actually, today, an episode, we're recording this in advance, but today an episode is going out with someone who is going to help me build some AI systems.
yeah.
And pretty sure she did your program, and that's how we met. So it's it's wonderful that you're giving people the ability to go out and share their gifts, whatever their human design is, because we all have different ones and we all have different things to share. The problem is we live in this world where if you don't understand the algorithms, your gifts may never be shared, at least not with as many people as it could be. So you're teaching people how to get their programs out there, share whatever it is that they have a passion for. I definitely believe when we turn pain or into passion, it just creates these incredible opportunities to
I
teach and
agree.
support other people. So, but it's really hard not to be lost in the sea of, like, I've told people what I'm doing, and they're like, but how's anyone going to find you? Like, I'm like, well, that's what I'm trying to learn right now. So, in addition to learning all the things I need to know to support people, I have to learn this marketing system, which
Yeah,
is
we have to stay up
really
with the trends, but AI is
changing by the
such a
day with
beautiful tool
AI.
that can help us. I
So,
always say, it's not here to replace us. We're very much still the visionary and CEO of our business, but it can help us shortcut our
mhm,
success, especially when it comes to visibility and being seen for our gifts. We're service providers, we're healers, we're agents of
yes,
change, we're therapists, we're coaches, we're educators, we're mentors, whatever you want to call yourself. That's your area of expertise. It's
mhm,
not marketing, but that's also why people like me exist to
yep,
help you be seen for your
right,
gifts because you deserve to be seen. And I know what it's like to have the feeling of, wow, if just more people knew about me, I could help transform their lives. I can make a bigger difference? How can I make a bigger difference? You're craving
Yeah.
the impact, not only, the business and making money. Money's a magnifier. It will come, and not in a cocky way of like, if more people know about me, I can transform their lives. It's a genuine knowing because you're damn good at what you
Yeah.
do. And you just want to reach more people and you just want to help more people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. And the more, so this is a great thing for us to talk about. I suffered tremendously with lack mentality instead of abundance. And I have this beautiful friend who is a spiritual guide. She does tea ceremonies, she does energy work. She's literally one of the most enlightened, beautiful people I know. And when I met her, I would go to her tea ceremonies and she charged what she was worth. And I remember thinking, wow, she's not afraid to charge this. That's incredible. I'm happy for her. And then we worked together for years. And when I realized one of my blocks is taking money from people, she said, how are you going to grow your business? How are you going to
Mhm.
reach more people if you don't get paid? And she just really, it was much more beautifully said than that. But she really helped me shift my mindset to, oh, the more money I make, the more I can build, the more impact I can have. I do have these gifts. I do have these ideas. I do have the ability to help people in a very unique way, but they'll never know if I'm too afraid to take the first 5 clients' money. So I have to turn this around, or am I not going to have a
Mhm.
business? I'm not going to be
When
able to
money
help
is in the
people
hands
the
of
way
good
that I'm
people, good
supposed to.
things happen. That's just what happens.
Uh,
And we have to
yeah,
fill into our own
yeah,
cup first so that we can pour into other people's cups. She's exactly right. You won't be able to grow your business unless you're okay receiving, and it's safe to receive. And that is something that a lot of us have to work through. I had to work
mhm,
through it too. Everybody has their money journey. I always say it's difficult to master money because money is infinite. And how do you master something that's infinite? It's
yeah,
reflecting back on yourself and mastering yourself and your relationship
yeah,
with money, just as if you were dating somebody. You're dating money. What is your relationship with? Are you
yeah,
scared of each other? Are you walking on eggshells? Are you
yes, yes,
avoidant? Are you anxious? What is your relationship with money like? And rather, what do you want it to be like? You get to choose that and you get to work on that. And it can be so fun to dig into
right.
our money wounds and why we're thinking the way we are and undo them.
Yeah, it's a lot of unlearning, a lot of unprogramming. I'm from Gen X. I think we have an immense amount. Our parents had money issues, the boomers, like they taught us a very different way to live and see money than younger generations. So we're all like, oh my God, we're supposed to serve, we're supposed to be committed to the same company
Mhm.
for the whole life. Like all of these things, you're just unlearning. But once you do, you're right. You can attract anything. The world is your oyster and it's so expansive. And I think manifesting, believing you already have it, all of these things to teach other people. For me, I think every lesson I learn, which there have been 10, end up being something
Yeah.
I'm directly helping other people
I
learn
firmly
later
believe that
down
deep in
the
my
road.
bones. We
And
are
I'm sure
just
you found that too.
all walking each other home. That's what I like to say. And we're all just here to help one another out. The lessons, you share the lessons. We're walking each other home. We're quite literally all holding hands in this. We're not supposed to do it alone. I think too with the money, a lot of unlearning, like you
Yeah.
said, especially therapists. I feel like there's a bit of brainwashing in school that we're not supposed to want to make money. We're only supposed to help and heal and change lives and give, 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 give. And it can be difficult when we're taught, we're teaching ourselves now, you can be seen, first off, because we're also taught, don't be seen. The systems want us to stay small and
Yep.
work for them. And that's the whole thing. The systems are very much broken in the mental health space, I believe. But don't be seen. Don't make a lot of money.
Mhm.
Just give, give, give. It's not okay to receive. All of that has to be unlearned as therapists, and being a woman on top of that too. If you're a woman and you're
Yes.
listening, this
Yes.
is quite literally the foreword of my book where I talk about money, being seen, claiming who you are as a therapist, stepping
Mhm.
into this abundant world. There's so many things that therapists can do, and also being a woman on top of it because it's difficult.
Yep. It's really difficult, and we were really taught to be small. Our voices were turned off or shut down. We in my household, it was be seen and not heard. And that's not how I
Hmm.
came into this world, but that's how I entered adulthood. And so unlearning that has allowed me to have this podcast and to speak up and to be on social media, which is essential in the marketing space. But it is so much unlearning. And to be a strong woman who's out there saying, you can earn
Yeah.
more, it's brave. That's a brave thing to say. But the more you say it, the more people are accepting it and understanding what we need to do. So, what other things would you say as your business has grown that you've had to unlearn
It's
in order to
ongoing.
really
I'm
expand and go to the next level?
continuously unlearning. The money journey never really ends, but my deep money work started 5 years ago when I became an entrepreneur and I had to be okay charging, accepting money, everything that we just discussed, doing the unlearning as a therapist turned entrepreneur turned coach. And so I feel like I'm in a pretty good place with that now, but as I continue to up level and make more money, I hit up against it again as I continue to release larger and larger amounts. I hit up against that again as I continue to invest larger and larger amounts and mentorship.
Hmm.
I continue to hit up against that again. It's never something that fully goes away. It
Yeah.
just gets easier to manage, I would say. And I've just set rules around money. I firmly believe when
Yeah.
I release money, it's already coming back to me in tenfold. It's already on its way back the second I release it.
Hmm.
Even before I release it, it's already coming back to me. I choose to see when I
Hmm.
release money how it's helping that person. I used to feel very guilty about spending and I
Yeah.
used to return things all the time. I felt this is coming straight from my childhood and psychoanalyze that to death. But
Yeah.
you know, I
Yeah.
you have to set rules around how you want money to be defined in your life. What do you want that relationship to be with money? I also had irrational fear when I got pregnant that my business was going to stop and clients weren't going to come anymore. And that
Mm.
was the exact opposite. My business thrived during maternity leave. I made $500,000 during maternity leave when I didn't take one coaching call. It was a very busy
Wow.
season in my life to begin with. I moved into a brand new home when I was 9 months pregnant. I needed to nest and get my life together while going on maternity leave. This was our first home, so releasing large amounts of money, like I said, it was a lot of change in my life. And
Yeah.
that was an irrational fear that my business was going to stop, that clients, would think that I'm not available for them anymore. But that's exactly why I created so much curriculum. I have trained professionals in every area that you need, whether it's paid advertising, copywriting, tech, etc. My clients were fully supported and continued to thrive while I was able to take a step back
Yeah.
from the business. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that is a definite program I think many of us have. Oh, and it is forced upon us and pushed upon us by society, employers, but you can have children, you can be a mom and have a great business. One of the things that I think that you probably do very well is delegating.
mhm.
I'm going to say delegating, but you have employees. You can tell me what word you use, but you put the right people in place. And that, in and of itself, I think, is a gift or something we have to learn.
And
Hey, I don't know what
yeah, I
happened.
can. Delegating, it's a
Can you
gift,
hear me?
something we
I don't
have to
know.
learn.
It booted you
Okay.
out. Yes. Well, I'll just re-say. So I feel like delegating or asking for help or employing people, like that is a gift that we also have to learn. In addition to the marketing piece, I think once you dig into marketing, you quickly realize I'm not going to be able to do this on my own as the business grows. So, how did you learn how to delegate and how to find people
Delegating is the
and
best thing ever
find
in the
help?
whole entire world. I love delegating. There is no better feeling in my personal life and my professional life than delegating. There's no better feeling than being on vacation and knowing that things are still getting done, than playing with your children, knowing things are still getting done, while going to the gym and you back and things are done, whether that's a clean house, grocery shopping, or it's having a virtual assistant, an ops assistant, a social media manager, a podcast editor, a support coach who can help your clients with client fulfillment. The list goes on of people that you can delegate to. And I talk about this a lot, and I have podcast episodes on this, trainings on this, because I have made the mistakes of hiring the wrong people first, people who I thought would help me in my business and get rid of my to-do list, if you will, but they weren't revenue drivers. And when
Okay.
you're first in the position of delegating, you want to be careful with your profit margins and money so you're keeping the business healthy. There's absolutely revenue driving hires that you should make first in your business before some of the other hires that you think you might need to make. So
Oh,
usually
so say more about that.
sales team,
What is a
commission,
revenue
somebody you can give
driving
5 to
person?
10%, somebody who can have conversations for
Okay.
you can get out of your DM, somebody who's going to be doing your email marketing, driving booked calls. These are smart hires, setters, closers. They're part of your sales team. They get 5 to 10% if you close the sale. Same with a virtual assistant, right? Or an ops assistant, depending on
Right.
what they're doing. You can get them for $7 to $10 an hour max, especially when they're not in the States. And can they be doing the tasks that is going to drive you revenue, right? So you need to think about conversions,
Mm,
conversation,
right.
not just hiring somebody to do your social media, especially if they don't know proven copywriting frameworks. You're giving them enough instruction on call to actions, and it's not leading them down the client journey to a conversation. That was one of the
Right.
first hires I made, was a social media assistant, but I didn't train them properly because I didn't know what I didn't know back then.
Hmm.
And this is often where people
Mm,
make mistakes delegating too. And they're like, okay,
yeah.
yeah, I'm going to get a virtual assistant. Now, what are tasks I can have my virtual assistant do? What should I assign them to do? And we're thinking about it the wrong way. If that's the case, it's more like, well, what do you know that you need to do? And that comes from mentorship and having a proven
Hmm.
business and marketing plan that you're following. What do you know that you need to do, that you need to take off your plate and delegate to someone else versus just kind of
Yeah.
making busy work? And it's like, well, what can they do for me?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I had a friend when I first started working on the business and I was doing all the back end setup. And she said she had had a business, a coaching business. She's not a therapist. She was a business coach in a different area.
Mhm.
And she had to close it and go back to employment because it didn't work. She's like, Leslie, start getting clients, do the back end later. And I was like, I can't do that. I need everything to be in
You need
place.
revenue.
She's like,
You
nope,
need revenue in your
nope.
business.
You need to go get clients first. She's like, you need to start making money first, doing what you love
Hmm.
doing. You will make time to build the back end. And I half listened to her. I'm a Virgo rising. So my perfectionist tendencies are off the charts sometimes. So I like to have everything in place. But she was absolutely right. She's absolutely right. And it was in my head. I kept thinking, "Ugh, I'm spending all this
Mhm.
time, but I still don't have clients. I need to just put this down. I'm
It
ready for
also helps you
clients. I
get
have the
out of your
space, I
head
have
and
the
into service as soon as
ability."
possible,
So,
and that's just gonna fuel your heart. You're gonna be on fire, you're
mhm,
gonna have so many content ideas, you're gonna be in your zone of
yes,
genius, and you can pour that back into your marketing. You don't have to have a website. You don't have to have a logo. I didn't have any
yeah,
of that
absolutely.
when I moved into business coaching. I just got clients. Exactly what you said, you need revenue. Yep.
The
And the
beautiful
fastest
website
way to
is
make money in your
wonderful,
business is make
but
offers.
it's not
Not
necessary.
enough people
You
are
can,
extending offers, extending invitations. I always say nobody's
mm,
going to come to your dinner party if you don't invite them. Nobody's going to become a client out of thin air. You have to extend the invitation. You have to invite them
that's
to go
great.
deeper. You have to move them along in the client
Yeah.
journey.
So, what holds people back from extending the invitation? Why
It's
is
the
that
fear of
something that you
rejection.
need to say and it's not just what we do?
It's the fear of getting a no. It's the fear that the no is going to mean something about you
Yeah.
personally, that you're a failure. Getting a no is normal, especially in high ticket sales. 20% is average close rate in high ticket sales.
Yeah.
You're going to get lots of no's. And most
Yeah.
people are projecting
Right.
their fears on the client. They're not extending the invitation because they're deciding for them that they're already going to say no. Well, I think that they might say no.
Right. I could hear myself saying, I know this is a lot. Or, something preemptively telling
But we make it
them,
easy
I'm
for them
charging
to
you way
pay
more,
us. We have
too much
payment
money or something like
plans.
that.
We break it down, we make the money work. Money's not even the hardest objection
Right.
to overcome.
Right.
It's really not. It's lack of belief. It's people thinking that this isn't going to work for them, which is why
Mm,
they need
wow.
stories, they need case studies, they need testimonials to show that this is possible. Most of us are our own ideal client, so we can show them our story, how we did it,
Yeah.
providing them proof that it's possible. But 9 out of 10 times, we can make the money work. There's tons of different options.
Right. So we just have to show people that this is working. It will work. And as a therapist, we have to get out of our head and understand the fear. I feel like whenever we have awareness of something, we can get through it. But if we don't have awareness of it, so if I don't know that the reason why I don't want to make offers is because I'm afraid of the rejection, I'm going to come up with 10 other reasons why I think I'm not making the offers. Something's not ready. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
charging too
It's the fear.
much,
And it's
but
focusing too much on
you
the
have to dig
outcome.
down. It's the fear.
Enjoy the beat in the moment.
Mhm.
Don't go into a
Mm,
consult call
okay.
just focusing on, are you going to seal the
Yeah.
deal? That's not being of service. You don't even know if they're actually a good fit to
Right.
coach with you because you haven't had that deep conversation with them. Maybe they need therapy. Maybe they're actually
Yeah.
fine and they don't need your help and it doesn't make sense to work together. The call is just, let's shoot the shit. Let's have a
Right.
conversation. Let's just see if it makes sense working together. If it does, cool. I'll explain what that looks like. I
Yeah.
can invite you to go deeper. If not, we'll leave as friends. You'll probably have a little bit of direction. It takes the pressure off. It gets you back into service.
Right.
You're putting on your
Right.
detective hat. You're just getting really curious about their life. It's not like,
Mhm.
oh, I have this sales call where I need to seal the deal. Don't focus on the outcome. Just focus on the
Right.
person in front of
Right.
you and helping them,
I love that.
which is why you started your business in the
Yeah,
first place, is to help them.
that's a
It's just we
great way to
forget,
look at it.
caught up in all of the nuances.
Right.
And so
Right.
it's just
Right.
bringing the humanness back into your business again, bringing
Yeah.
the heart back into your business again.
I think as therapists, we are used to doing
Therapists
consult calls,
are
right?
so
So
good at sales.
a consult call
They
for
are so
therapy
good
is
at
very,
sales. They don't know it. They get so in their head,
they
but
just don't
therapists
know
are,
it.
they're really good at sales
Yeah.
because rapport, it's our middle name.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And we have so much to offer people in the coaching and the therapy. And we approach coaching from a therapeutic standpoint. So, yeah, it's the one-on-one coaching calls for me are easy and enjoyable. And my success rate is phenomenal because I know I have a lot to offer that person one-on-one. I think when you start going into more high ticket offers, then it's like, ugh. But if we approach those the
Why do
same
you get
way,
like, oh,
it
do you
would
mind me
be fine,
asking?
right? Am I right? No, not at all. I think because I know that one-on-one I can help people and I have so much to offer them. I've created all of these things, the course, the other offerings. What are their
So what do you
products? They're
believe
not
about group?
me, even though they're an extension of what I know and understand. Groups are great. Like groups I can easily do. I think it's when it's a course, there's doubt. Did I put everything in? Are they going to get what they think they're getting? Are they going to be satisfied with what I've created? If I'm going to put this bigger price tag on it,
So you're
or
saying if
am
they
I going to
buy a
meet
course
all of their
alone
needs and all
and
of
there's
their
no coaching attached to it?
expectations? Well, yeah, there's always going to be coaching attached to it with my program, but there is something different for me right now about my one-on-one coaching and even my small group coaching versus the package. And honestly, I think
Mm.
if I'm being honest, it's the money, it's the price tag. If I were just slightly raising the price of my one-on-one and throwing in the course, then that'd be like they're getting a perk. But because the course is really robust,
It's the
and
money.
I believe in it and I
Okay.
think it's great, but it's the
You're
money. It's definitely a
self-diagnosing
money blow.
yourself there. Happy to
Yeah.
help you move
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
that.
Working on that.
Oh, good.
Well, my therapist, I
Yes.
have my own IFS therapist and we're working on my part. It's my parts. I love parts work. And yeah, my parts love to come up and
Have you done the math?
battle it out with each other about all of this stuff. But that's,
What do you want your
yes, I
yearly
want this
revenue goal to
amount.
be? How can we
And
reverse engineer
it
that?
all makes
What's the
sense.
investment of your program? How many people do you need in that program per month, per quarter, per year to hit the revenue goals? It's really just
Mm.
math.
Those it's just math. And when I look at it that
It
way, I'm
just
like,
is what it
oh,
is. This is my
okay,
investment.
okay.
It's
Uh,
also not a
I could do
price, it's
that.
an investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to see that so that your
Mm.
clients can see that. And I
Oh,
always
that's a great
reframe
way
it
to
too. They're like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, this sounds great. What's the cost? I'm like, I would
Yeah.
love to talk about investment.
It's semantics, right? Labeling and
Yeah,
what
what's
we
the
attach
cost
to
of
those
staying
what we
stuck?
attach to the cost versus investment. It's huge.
Probably a lot higher.
So, so I want to jump into something new. Just make sure that we have time. I don't want to run out of
Yeah.
time before we get into everything you're doing with AI because I feel like it's really exciting. And also that
It's
gets me
okay.
out of my
Uh,
uncomfortable place of talking about money. How I shifted that. Let's not talk about me anymore. So you
correct.
have
Yes.
launched Carly AI, is that correct? And you're using now teaching your coaches that
Hmm.
you're training in your program how to use
Yes.
AI to be more efficient marketing themselves. What inspired you to go down? It's an obvious question, but tell me about how this all
Hmm.
came about
I've
and where
always
you
used
see
AI personally
this
in my
going.
business. Well, ever since it existed. I mean, ChatGPT was not a thing when I was first building my business, and I did do everything from scratch. And I actually, in hindsight, don't know how I did that. What did we do without AI prior? I don't know. We just figured it out, but it just saves you so much time. And so I had trained my AI agents. It knew all of my templates, basically everything that was in my course. And so how it really started was me using it in my own business, shortcutting the time that I was working on things, especially becoming a mom. I valued my time so much more. What did I do with my
Mm.
time before I became a mom, too? I have no idea. But I would get on power hours with people and they would run out of questions because I was using AI, I was taking over, I was kind of doing it with them. And they're like, this is incredible. I have a whole niche, I have a whole offer suite. I know all of my payment
Okay.
plans, I have my marketing plan. I know exactly what I'm going away to do. Half of it is already done for me. My social medias is all set up, it's audited, etc. Whoa, how did you do this, Carly? And it was just because of AI, and it was trained in everything that I was doing. And
Yeah.
so I was testing it with my clients inside. It's now the Coach Intensive. It used to be called the Therapist to Coach Accelerator. I rebranded it a few months ago. But testing it inside the Coach Intensive, AI agents that I train to help you figure out your niche. So no more back and forth about your niche for 3 months, doing niche worksheets, etc. It's trained in the niches that pass the high ticket test, because that's a big
Mhm.
holdup that therapists adding coaching. It's figuring out their niche. Then also from there, it's your marketing plan
Yep.
and writing social media posts that are proven to convert, not just posting for consistency or fluff. And so I have a social media agent, I have a webinar writer. Now it's all working and you're getting
Yeah.
sales calls, but you're not closing the calls. So I have a sales call auditor that you can plug your transcript into, and it tells you, what you could have done differently on the sales call to close the sale, improve your close rate. So there's AI agents for basically
Wow.
everything in your business, including writing all of your emails and doing your email marketing for you, auditing your brand. So that's what Carly AI is. It
That's great.
launched it to the public, so you don't have to be in
That's
my higher level mentorships to access Carly AI. You can get started for a very low cost per month. Try it out. If you like
Oh,
it,
that's
keep
great.
going, and it can really help you get some cash in your business so that you can continue to invest in your business and mentorship. And it just shortcuts your success.
That's great. Yeah. So my program ended right when Carly AI was coming out, literally days. So I missed out on learning everything that it can do, but that's fantastic. And there's so much time in each of those tasks. And we did do a power hour. And it was, I mean, we did almost run out of
How did we do all of
things to
this?
talk
Yeah.
about. And I remember being like, oh my God, I should have done this. Right. I wish I'd done this 3 months earlier. Yeah. So that's fantastic and exciting. And I think people have so much, not so much, some people have fear around AI, but this is using it
Mhm.
for in the most incredible ways, I think. So, what are you most excited about building next in your
Yeah.
business, in your personal life? You have a beautiful little boy.
Well, I'm making so
What's
many shifts in my
next?
team right now. So I am scaling back team members. I'm condensing
Okay.
departments. I'm creating a lean and mean team. So there's a lot of moving parts with the team in the business, which creates a lot of change. But I'm also going for a 3x revenue this year. So the goal is scale from 2 to 5 million. That is huge leap. I'm here for it though. I'm all about 3xing, 10xing your goals. And I'm really passionate about reaching more mothers as
Yeah.
I'm in this era of my life. I definitely plan to have more kids, and I'm seeing everything through a new light: motherhood, entrepreneurship, time management, systems,
Yeah.
how these all combine together. And so there's a second book in me that's coming. There's a second podcast that's coming, really gearing towards mothers, entrepreneurship, and really any wellness
Mm,
professional or expert who wants to tap into the online coaching space, not just therapists. Helped friends in all areas: photographers, hairdressers, sound healers, real estate agent, dog trainers. I mean, you
yeah.
name it. Anybody who has something of value to teach, you can package it in the online space and you can monetize it. So, expanding
Yeah.
my brand, writing another book, doing another
Yeah.
podcast, hitting crazy revenue goals,
Great.
having more kids,
Great.
restructuring my team, all the fun things.
Just
Yeah.
a few things, just a few little things, just a few little things here and there. No, I love that shift of focus or additional focus for mothers just because there is such a need, and I think it's going to grow for moms to have their own income. I support women going through divorce. I support
Mhm.
all women always having something to support themselves, and not just for money and as a security, but for themselves. I gave up my law career, took a 10-year break where I taught myself photography because I couldn't sit still. I wasn't wired to be a stay-at-home mom necessarily. And I wish I had a coach who could have helped me with that photography business, because the business side of it and managing motherhood, it was a lot. I think we all have so much creativity in us, and it's so therapeutic. I don't think there's anything more
100%.
therapeutic than tapping into our creativity. So for moms, whatever it is that you're inspired to do, having support and learning how to monetize that and
And
create
it
a
makes you a
business
better
that you can
mom,
share with the
right?
world, fabulous. So I'm on board for that.
Moms are the last people to invest
Yes,
in themselves,
yes,
but
yes.
exactly. And when you can tie it back to,
But the
well, you're
first that
actually
need to,
investing in your family, you're
the
actually
first that need
investing
to.
in your kids' health, your relationship with them. When you take the leap and invest in yourself, when you pour into yourself first, and then you can delegate more in the household and you can take a
Yep.
load off and you don't have to do it all and you can still have it all. And that's a really bold statement, but it's the truth.
Yeah. It's the truth. And it's never been easier with AI, I think. It's only going to continue to be easier to build and do
Now's the
whatever
time.
side
Now's the
hustle,
time to
whatever
get
you want to
in. There
call
is
it,
no
that
better
you
time.
want. So
There's room
I
for you.
love it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I agree. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your heart, your story, and giving clarity today. Your journey has been really powerful, and it's such a great example of what can happen when women choose alignment over fear, authenticity over performance, and freedom over playing small. So, for everyone listening, if you want to connect with Carly, you can find her at Carly Hill Coaching. You can join her Facebook community for therapists, which has probably expanded to beyond therapists now, and explore all the AI tools over at Carly AI, especially if you're someone who is an entrepreneur or wants to become an entrepreneur in 2026. So thank you, Carly. Appreciate you so much. And anyone who enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe. And all of the contact information for myself and Carly will be in the show
Bye.
notes. So thank you. Until next time, take care.